What's good, guys? Fantasy Joe back here with our mock draft Monday. Today, I am drafting from the 104 half point PPR typical league format. Let's get into it. Yeah, so excited to see what my options here are for, kind of outside of the, maybe some of those top dogs. But actually, we have our chance. Jamar Chase is who I was hoping we would get an opportunity to draft, and we do. We see the draft start with McCaffrey, Eckler, Jefferson. I don't view much of a difference between Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. Both have top end quarterbacks and get an absolute ton of targets per game. Jamar Chase, especially over that second half of the season, once that offensive line got into a flow, which I expect them to be able to do again this year. Okay. Taking a look at the running backs left on the board, we've got Breece Hall, Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones, Jahmyr Gibbs, CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson still on the board as far as the wide receivers go. I am tempted to just really take some shots here and see how a zero RB team would work out, just because we have the option of CeeDee. I wish we would have, a Davante Adams here, but we were able to get Jamar Chase in round one, so I'd rather have that. I'm just not really in love with any of these running backs at this particular draft value. With Breece Hall coming off that ACL, concerned about him. I'll take CeeDee Lamb. He got an absolute ton of targets last year, 156 for the Cowboys. And although I expect them to run the ball more and have better wide receiver two, with Gallup getting healthier and Brandon Cooks on the team now, I still think he will have a good season, 1,200 something yards, double-digit touchdowns. So we took him there. And as you can see now, we got Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb. I do like both of those players. I think they're safe. Taking a look, Travis Etienne, I don't mind at all in the third round, but like I said, I think we might just give this 0RB team a shot. I'm going to take Chris Olave here. Love him in year two with Derek Carr. Saw how good he was last year and didn't get, an absolute absurd amount of targets, played 15 games as well. I think this year he could get that opportunity. And this is an awesome opportunity for us. We'll take a look at the draft board here real quick before we make our next selection. But I was considering going and drafting Josh Allen in the last round, but I thought I would go with the top end wide receiver, circle back and try to grab one of these, Herbert or somebody like that later on. Jalen Hurts is still available, though, here in round 4. He's an auto selection to me in round 4. That's excellent value there. We'll do that draft again and again and again. Now, we're in round 5, taking a look at the tight end position. This is really falling really well for us if you're trying to go that 0RB route. I'm going to snag George Kittle here. I do like some of these running back names on the board, and I wouldn't be against selecting one of them here. It's not too early to me, even with this strategy. But I thought one of those guys' names would come back around, and as you can see here, Swift is still on the board, so I'm going to snag up DeAndre Swift. I think he'll catch some passes and have some good opportunity behind that talented offensive line. I still believe in the talent of DeAndre Swift as long as he can maintain his health. I think he will be very productive in that Philadelphia offense. Obviously, I have him and Jalen Hurts, which isn't ideal, but at the value I'm getting them at with Hurts in the 4th, Swift in the 6th, I'm perfectly okay with that, and we'll see what other running backs I can round up here as we head in. But let's just take a look at my roster so everyone can see it. Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Chris Olave in my flex, George Kittle, Jalen Hurts, DeAndre Swift. The running back position is a little weaker, but when you have Kittle, who is very good with Brock Purdy, who right now it sounds like he's going to start the season, and yeah, there's some built-in upside with those receivers. All of them could be, top 8 this year, would not shock me at all. Jalen Hurts, whenever he's been on the field, has scored a lot of points at that quarterback position, so he should separate himself well from the field as long as he can, like I said, maintain health. But that's really it with almost every player in fantasy football. If they can stay healthy, they can be productive. But I guess not every player is productive, but there's a lot of risk injury-wise. The more you look at it, you just got to take the best players available. Okay, so taking a look here, I'm going to reach a little bit on this guy, but I really like Khalil Herbert, and to get him in the 7th round, I'm perfectly okay with that. Fill him in my RB2. I think he's going to get more opportunity than people realize there, And another great opportunity has presented itself to me. I do like Treylon Burks here, but I've taken so many wide receivers, and I need the running backs. Give me A.J. Dillon for Green Bay. He is the upside, too, of a guy who will be involved and be a flex-worthy RB in each and every week. And if anything was to happen to Aaron Jones, he could be extremely productive and, like I said, can maintain production even with Aaron Jones healthy. Just the talented running back he is, the offensive line they have in Green Bay, and the likelihood that they run the ball a lot this year with Aaron Rodgers out of town. Jordan Love first year as a starter. Okay, taking a look at who is still on the board. There's another wide receiver name I think I might snag him a little later, be able to play him in my flex weeks. I wasn't even really planning on drafting this guy because I took Swift, but I will take Rashaad Penny here, and I will take I think the lead dog will be sorted out in that Philadelphia Eagles running game. Like I said, having Jalen Hurts and both of them isn't necessarily ideal, but I think it'll give me a little bit more consistency at that RB2 position, because honestly, I took Swift ahead of him. I think his ceiling is high, but I think Herbert will probably be the best running back out of that group starting week 1 and for the beginning of the season. Like I said, I think he'll give every opportunity to win that job. I'm going to take Davante here. I think he could be very productive in that Miami Dolphins running game. So snag him. Rookies usually outperform their draft position as well. And like I said, we need him. Don't have a ton of options here wide receiver-wise. I'm going to snag another high-end backup in my mind if anything was to happen to their starter, and that's Elijah Mitchell. If anything happened to Christian McCaffrey, he has obviously struggled with some injuries in the past. He could be extremely valuable, and you got to take shots on that when you utilize this 0 RB draft position. Basically, the idea is your wide receivers get more and more valuable as the season goes on, and that running backs go down as time goes on, so that gives more and more opportunities for these guys to step up and be the ones that are actually scoring the majority of the points in the later season. So basically your RB2s are gaining value while your receivers are maintaining their, high value positioning. Taking a look, let's really dive into some of these wide receivers. Show me more. Okay, that's not working. There we go. Because I was going to say, there's somebody I want. We'll get them later, though. I'll take another high-end backup, Gus Edwards. If something was to happen to J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards would instantly be a very valuable running back. Taking a look, I'll take a share of Romeo Doubs here. He could be, there's reports that he is Jordan Love's favorite target right now. He could potentially be the one, so I'll take the shot on him here. And this is where I think you don't need to pay too much attention to ADP and things like that, because it's just get the guys you want to take a shot on. Give me a shot on Rasheed Rice here in round 14. Just really productive last year. Obviously, second-round pick, and gets to go into Kansas City. Could be, the feature wide receiver by the end of the season for them. That's obviously would be an extremely valuable role, worth the draft selection to me at this point in the draft. And like I said, I believe he's a talented football player. Taking a look at who is still on the board here, I will take a shot on Zach Evans for the Rams. I just really liked his tape. I think he'll have some opportunity there if he could beat out Cam Akers. We'll see very quickly, though, I think. And I think that concludes the draft. We'll take a look at the team. So, 0 RB draft strategy. And this roster is Jalen Hurts, DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, George Kittle, Chris Olave, A.J. Dillon, Rashaad Penny, Davante, Elijah Mitchell, Gus Edwards, Romeo Doubs, Rasheed Rice, and Zach Evans. Really took that shotgun approach to the running back position. As you can see, just took an absolute ton of them on my bench after I stacked all those wide receivers. But when you get a stud quarterback, a good tight end, all those things, you really don't need to, be using more picks to back up those positions, in my opinion. You kind of got to ride with those guys and hope that they have that great year and fill in off the free agent list and things like that when you need depth. If you guys have made it to this point in the video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. I'll respond as always. This has been Fantasy Joe. Thank you guys for watching.